Welcome back to Fishing for Real People. Justin here. Today I want to do something a little bit different, and I kind of want to do not really so much of a challenge as it is kind of, I guess, a face-off would be a better description. So I'm about to crash into a branch here, so I'm going to get myself moved a little bit and anchored, and I'll go over the rules when I'm done with that. Yeah, so hang tight. Okay, tree branch tragedy averted. So, all right, this isn't going to be so much of a challenge as I guess it would be a face-off, and I'm going to call it the budget fishing reel combo face-off. So the rules are quite simple. The rod and reel combo together has to have cost less than $100. It has to be readily available, so you have to be able to find it just about anywhere. And you got to catch a fish. Really simple. So to keep everything fair, I am running 6-pound P line on both of these combos, and I'll go over the combos here in just a second. And I am running this is a lake I've fished quite frequently, so I kind of been familiar with it. But I'm running the Z-Man shad fries in the Purple Death and the 1/15 ounce jig head. So the idea behind this is if you're looking to just get started in fishing and you don't know, hey, which one's going to be better? Well, this is going to be kind of for $100 I could go out and get this thing and it's good, or for $100 I could go out and get this thing and it's better. Hope that makes sense. So like I said, 6-pound test, P-line fluoro clear, spooled up on both of these, running the exact same lure on both of them. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and go over the rods. So this is the Ugly Stick GX2. This is 5-foot length, light action. Reason for why I chose light action on this one versus the ultralight is I still want to be able to say, all right, you hook into a bass and it's not going to snap. Like there are some ultralight rods out there that you hook into a 2-pound bass and the rod's gonna break. So I want it to be durable enough, you know, that you can catch multi-species on it and still be able to go out and use it. And the second one, now everywhere's got their own, you know, special, like, you know, we got Bass Pro Shop up here. I know down south you guys have the what do you call it, the Academy Sports. So we'll just call this the big box house brand rod, and in my case it is the Bass Pro Shop's Tournament Special. I don't know if you all can see that. And then this is the 6-foot light fast action. This is the lure weight. What is the lure weight? 1/16 to 1/4 ounce. Again, this is a good, call it multi-species-ish setup. So the Ugly Stick I got at Walmart and cost me this much, and the Bass Pro Shop, obviously I got at Bass Pro Shop and it cost me this much. So we're gonna go ahead and get to fishing with both of these and, you know, catch a fish. So we'll see you in just a second. All right, we're gonna start this out today with the Ugly Stick GX2. I'll talk a little bit about how it casts and, you know, how it feels in hand. It is the shorter of the two, being the 5-foot. Honestly, I bought this so that I could take it out pan fishing and also go to one of our local river systems and pull out some smallmouth bass. They don't get huge in that river system. In that particular system, I think the biggest one I ever caught was 2.5 pounds, but usually they're 1.5 to 2 pounds is a pretty standard size there. So yeah, I bought this to handle the smallmouth bass and for me and my kids to go pan fishing. So let's go ahead and give this a good cast here. So that cast out probably 10, 20, 30, 35-ish feet. So definitely has a decent casting distance on it. The reel that comes with it is a Shakespeare reel. This is a combo that I bought. So that Shakespeare reel, obviously it's not the greatest, but it's by far from not the worst I've ever used either. And if you've ever watched any of my content before, you all know how I feel about P-Line Fluoro Clear. Stuff is awesome. It casts really smoothly. Oh, I got to adjust myself on the boat here. Very smooth casting. Oh, that was a bite. Very smooth casting line. Performs way above its grade. That was a definite. Come on. Nope, he let go. I had a short strike there. We're going to try that cast again. So where there's one, there's usually more. So I'm out on Granddad's boat today. No electronics. We're just doing this old school. So like I said, this one casts in this 5-foot range. Casts about, you know, this lure. That one there was a little bit shorter. I wasn't trying to go as far, but I can get this lure to go 35 feet, you know, but with pan fishing, you're not really trying necessarily to launch it as much. Another thing I really like doing with this rod is in one really big lake that I go to fish, I'll tie a really, oh, caught my own tail there. I'll tie a really, really light egg sinker on the end and then run, I don't know, 6-8 inches up from that egg sinker. And basically it's like a little drop shot setup, but I'll run a little ice fishing jig with either a wax worm or a tiny chunk of regular worm and catch perch. So, oh, it's a great little setup for that. You don't have to cast it very far. I mean, you're in that particular area that I go, you're only casting it out maybe 10, 15 feet, letting it hit bottom and then just kind of gently popping it back. So it's fantastic for that. So yes, I've had this rod for full disclosure. I've had this rod for a number of years. So I think I'm going to pick up that tournament special and talk about that here in just a second after I retrieve this one in. Conditions right now are pretty overcast, so I don't know if that's got something to do with, did storm last night too, so I don't know if that's got something to do with why the fish aren't biting. This spot here is usually pretty productive for me. That's why I came out here today. All right. Well, all right, so this is the Bass Pro Shops Tournament Special in the light power. All right, so first thing I want to talk about is this reel is a huge improvement over that Shakespeare reel that is on the Ugly Stick. I'm not gonna lie, I've been long thinking about possibly upgrading the reel on that Ugly Stick, but this reel is a vast improvement over the one on that Ugly Stick. Now, castability, this casts this lure a fuzz further on average than the ugly stick. I'm not gonna go out and say, you know, oh, this is so much better at casting than that ugly stick. That's simply not true. It does cast a fuzz further, 2, maybe 3 feet on average, but that's largely just due to the extra length of the rod. Kind of hoping I get at least one fish on each of these so I can talk about the sensitivity, but since I've used both of these for this exact setup numerous times, I'll just tell you. The ugly stick, I had no trouble feeling those little bites. I'm waiting for one here. With both of them, and when I reel this in, I'll show you how I do this. So with both of them, I hook, you've got the rod there, so in my right hand, I hook my pinky into the frame of the rod here where it meets, I'm sorry, the reel where it meets the rod. I hook my pinky in there, and then as I hold it, I've got my 3 fingers around the rod, and my index finger I run and hold up along, actually on the rod itself. For me, that, oop, I just hooked my own self up here. Way to go, Justin. For me, that just allows me to feel the rod better. And besides, when I'm, you know, casting, I always hook it with my finger anyway. Then I cast out, you know, let go, and then I just leave my finger up there like that. And for me, that just allows me to feel anything coming from the rod a little bit better. And I do that with every single spin combo I have. It doesn't matter what I'm fishing for, bass, bluegill, anything, doesn't matter. But God's honest truth, like I said, because I've actually owned both of these rods for a number of years now. The ugly stick, I want to say 5, and I got this tournament special a year after. So I've used them enough that I can speak to their sensitivity. God's honest truth is they're pretty darn close in sensitivity. The tournament special is, I would say, a fuzz more sensitive. And where the tournament special really shines is if you're going to be casting something slightly heavier. So let's say an 1/8 ounce. This tournament special will launch an 1/8 ounce lure into tomorrow. What is it rated for? Up to 1/4 ounce is what it's rated for. And yeah, I should know that. I've owned it for a while. But a 1/8 ounce and, you know, up to that 1/4, this tournament special really throws that, which is really nice, I think. Well, nothing seems to be biting in this area. I might change areas really quick and bring you back and see if we can't get something on here today. All right, well, not a huge move, but a move nonetheless. Just a little bit further out into the bay. If this area doesn't produce, we'll go to a whole nother section of the lake. But this has been pretty good to me over here. So we'll give this a shot. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. That was a bite. That was a good bite. I don't understand it. They're all short striking, going for the tail. They're definitely over. There is another short strike. They're definitely over here. But it's more like they're taking swipes at it and saying, hey, get out of my area, than they are actually like trying to eat it. I almost wonder if they're up shallow. That was a bite. That was a short strike. That's a fish. There we go. He got it that time. All right. Oh, hey you, slimy little booger, come here. All right, we got ourselves a tiny little crappie. All right, I'll take it though. I gotta figure out a better way to position that camera so I ain't showing off my hiney every time I go to rinse my hands off. Nobody wants to see that. All right, well, we caught one on the tournament special. That was a bite followed by it was a short strike followed by a good bite. So now we're gonna swap and go over to the ugly stick. He definitely, as we're drifting more into the shallow area, that definitely came in the more shallow area. So I almost wonder if that's where they are, if they're up a little bit more shallow today. Also, you guys, comment below. Let me know if you like a little bit more long form videos, or if you want, you know, so many guys that I watch on YouTube, they get their videos together and they just kind of edit them, you know, down and only show the catches. But let me know if you like a little bit more of the long form videos and you like to see all the stuff that we go through when we're trying to catch fish. Because I think a lot of these videos, I don't want to say glamorized, you know, they pull out the latest and greatest gear or whatever, they do a quick demonstration. You know, they show catching a fish, but they don't really show the work or anything that goes into it. You know, and for me, fishing is freedom, you know. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, I put out that Father's Day video where I was out on that lake for hours and I only managed to catch one fish. But for me, that was okay because, you know, I wasn't at work. I wasn't arguing with life, you know. It was simple, you know. It's you versus the water. And I guess, you know, I don't know, it's peaceful. You know, if you're someone that likes the constant action, I went fishing with my nephew, you know, and he's the type of person that, you know, if he doesn't get a bite every 5 minutes, he gets bored, gives up, and goes home. You know, I'm definitely not that way. For me, this is, I don't want to really call it an escape from reality, but it kind of is. I'm fishing, you know, I'm not fighting as a veteran. I'm not fighting the demons in my head. I'm not arguing with life, as I said before. Me, the water, my gear, and the fish. Honestly, catching the fish is a bonus. Fishing is the real adventure. There we go. Oh, this one's feels a little better. Oh, it's not. It is a big angry bluegill. Whoa, you gonna spike me. Stop it. Come here, you. Stop it. There we go. Probably, if I had to guess, a 5-inch bluegill. I wonder if this is what was short striking me down there. Little 5-inch bluegill. I know these things aren't as fun to look at this far away from the camera, but all right. I wonder if that's what's been short striking me, are those little bluegill. So the crappie might be somewhere else in the lake then, other than that one. All right, so we are 1 for 1. Tournament special versus ugly stick. If you've made it this far in the video, I really want to thank you. I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the channel. I think this video I'm just going to let go out long form. I'll just post the whole stinking thing. Could get a little boring to watch, or you can listen to me ramble. So now, that wasn't a very big bluegill, but there was zero sensitivity issues with that ugly stick rod. I felt that from right from the start. My good buddy has a temple fork rod, and he's got a couple St. Croix, and I have had the opportunity to fish with both of those. And if any of you know about temple fork or St. Croix, those are kind of like the big names in the light and ultralight categories for fishing. And both of those, I mean, they were really, really nice. Don't get me wrong. Really, really pleasant to fish with. But I am in absolutely no way thinking, oh my God, I got to go get one of those over my ugly stick or my tournament special. So there's nothing about the Temple Fork or the St. Croix rods that really scream to me that they're so much better, if that makes sense. Plus, they're really pricey. They're really expensive, which kind of goes against everything that I'm for on this channel. You know, the average real people. All right, I've drifted up pretty shallow now, where I'm gonna have to move. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, I'm gonna completely change locations. I'm gonna go to the other bay. So I'm gonna get out away from the shallow area quick, and I'm gonna go to the other bay, and I'll catch back up with you over there. All right, we're back. I'm over in the other bay now. Hopefully we're gonna have a little better luck over here. Still on the Bass Pro Shops. Rod. I love this lake. It is so peaceful. I really kind of wish I would have brought my depth finder, and it's got a little fish finder on it too, so I could see, if in fact there are actually fish below me or if I'm just chasing my tail. But such is life. Not everybody's got one of those. So I'm doing it old school style today and still having fun. Ooh. Oh, less than ideal. Can't go fishing without that happening 1 to 5 times. Oh, what did I do here? There we go. That P-line floral clear casts so smooth. I don't know if you were noticing, but that ugly stick has a really, we'll call it intense bend to it. The rod, even with that little bluegill, really bows up, which helps, you know, if you ever get, that was a little bite, if you ever get right up by the boat too. So anyway, yeah, if you ever get fish that like to jump, that parabolic bend on that ugly stick really helps keep tension on the lure in the fish's mouth, so that, you know, they can't throw the lure as easily. This one is a much faster action to it. Which helps with the hook sets, but at the same time, it's kind of, I don't want to say annoying to get a fish that when it jumps, you know, it throws the hook a little easier, but a cobweb on my face. All right, we're going to make one more cast, and then I'm going to kind of use the trolling motor to move myself to the other side of this little bay here. Because those people that were over there just moved, and that's where I wanted to be. Just for fun though, I'm going to cast this out, and I'm going to quasi-troll it as we go. Just got this trolling motor set at speed of 1. Ah, there's a deer up on the edge over there. If I had the camera closer, I'd show you. Promise. Oh, that's a fish. That's a fish. That's a fish. But I promise, guys, I'm working on getting a chesty, and I don't know if you all can see the bend on this rod. That's a better bluegill. Hello, my friend. Come here, you. That is a much better bluegill. Much better bluegill. I'll get this one up by the camera for you. Okay, none of that now. Come on now, my 2 fans want to actually see you. Ouch. Oh, that's a sharp spike. All right, we'll get this one right up by the camera here. Let me go ahead and grab him by the jaw as gently as possible. There we go. That's a much better bluegill. Much better bluegill. So we're gonna go ahead and toss him back. Thank you, little guy. All right, we'll go ahead and untangle here. Maybe. There we go. We'll pack this one up and we will grab the ugly stick. Loosen the drag up on this thing a little. Must have bumped it. All right. All right. Ugly stick time. And we'll go ahead and cast this out, and I'm going to continue to the area that I was trying to get to, but we'll go ahead and do the exact same thing. And we'll flow troll that way. Ish. Slow-ish troll that way. That bluegill, though, he kind of bit. There we go. That was a better cast. He kind of bit, I don't want to say like right over the channel. Oh, that was a little bite. I don't want to say he bit right over the center of the channel, but it was pretty darn close. So that would make it about 20-ish to 23 feet of water that he bit in, which is unusual for this lake. Normally I find them biting in a couple feet of water. Water depth of, say, 12 to 18 feet, but then they bite in the top 5 feet of the water column. So, but that was definitely a better bluegill than the first one. But as I was saying, I promise guys, I'm working on getting better equipment. So I can make better videos for y'all. Oh, that was a little nibble. That's another little nibble. Come on. Oh, that's weird. Are they in this channel? Maybe I'll fish the edge of the channel for a little bit. I'm gonna get up a little bit closer, and then I'm just gonna let the wind drift me south. Or do I just use the trolling motor and zigzag across the channel? Anyway, well, at the end of this video, the goal was to try and say, you know, one of these rods is good and one of them's better for pan fishing. And I think the conclusion that I'm going to come to, because I've used both of them for, oh, that was a fish. That was a fish. There was another fish. Come on. Because I've used both of them for so long, I can comfortably say that if you're after just a rod that you can go to Walmart for and get for cheap, and you don't have to worry too much about, you know, what, the kids get a hold of it and step on it and it breaks, or, you know, it falls overboard or whatever. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the ugly stick. That's a fish. And he let go. Oh, bummer. Oh, it felt like another bluegill. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the ugly stick. It doesn't cast quite as far. But the God's honest truth is it's plenty sensitive enough. And I mean plenty sensitive enough. The reel isn't great. There's no sugarcoating that. The reel isn't great at all. It functions just fine. The rod I've caught, I mean, you've seen me catch, what, 2 fish on it today. And I just hooked another one. I've caught a small handful of largemouth bass on it, nothing huge. I think the biggest fish I've caught on this rod is 3 pounds. So it definitely will handle it. It's ugly stick. They're kind of known for being, I don't want to say indestructible, but you know, they're a good product. It doesn't throw quite as heavy of a lure as well as, you know, the big box, the tournament special. So upsides, it's very durable. It works very well. I really enjoy fishing with it. Downside, it could cast better. It could come with a better reel. But it's a great, overall, I like it. So I'll reel this one in and then I'll talk about the tournament special. As a pan fishing rod, there really aren't any, as a pan fishing combo, there really aren't any major downsides to this combo as a pan fishing setup. You know, at the time, if they would have had the 6-foot version instead of the 5-foot version in the light, I probably would have got that one. But the truth is, as a pan fishing combo, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this setup. All right, well, let's pull this one up. And I'll give you the pros and cons of this one. So, pros of the Bass Pro Shop Tournament Special Light. Pros are it throws lures a little bit better, a little more consistently as far as aim. The reel is much nicer. It will handle, the biggest fish I caught on this was, I want to say, a little under 4 pounds. So it'll handle bigger fish a little better. Cons, gun to my head, I honestly don't think it's as sensitive as the Ugly Stick. Odd, I know. But, you know, well, bass just jumped over there. But if I'm being completely honest, 100% honest, I don't think it's quite as sensitive as the Ugly Stick. I don't have the, I believe the Academy house brand is the H2O Special or something like that. I don't have one of those that I can compare it to. Anybody from down south that ever has fished with one of those, I'd really appreciate if you could comment and let me know your thoughts on the H2O Special or the Academy House brand, you know, as far as like their light gear and pan fishing, what your thoughts are. But between the Ugly Stick combo and the tournaments, Bass Pro Shop Tournament Special combo, God's honest truth, I don't know that I can really say this one is significantly better than the other one. And if you're going to go spend take $100 and buy a rod and reel combo and have money left over for, line and some lures, I have a real hard time saying, get the tournament special over the Ugly Stick. The tournament special is probably, oh, that was a bite. That is a fish. The tournament special is probably, ooh, decent sized crappie. Tournament special is probably a better multi-species fish. Our fishing setup. Come out of there, you. I'll come up and show you guys this. There we go. I'll come up and show you that one there. Nice crappie. For around here anyway, I don't want to hear anything from you guys down south about how small that thing is. Keep it to yourselves. If you're gonna go pick one out of these two rods out, and for, we'll call it a multi-species type thing, then I would definitely go for the tournament special. If you want something that you and or your kids can use, and you're looking for something specifically for panfish, I would point you in the direction of the Ugly Stick. those are my thoughts. Those are just my thoughts. Take it or leave it. Like it or love it. Yeah, that's what I got. Now I'm going to start rambling if I keep talking to y'all about it. So both are definitely not a waste of money, I'll tell you that. So I guess I'm going to say for this good versus better competition, I'm going to call it a tie. And I'll say the winner is anybody who picks up either one of them, because there really is nothing wrong with either one of these setups. So I'm going to shut up and just fish for a little while. And this will be the part of the video where I edit it down to just the catches. So hopefully you all appreciated the video thus far. If you're still with me, I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, really helps me out. We'll keep casting. If you see any more, I decided I was going to keep casting for some panfish and show you a couple more clips. If you don't see any more of this video, I called it quits after this cast and decided to go try and catch that bass that was jumping over there. So either case, thanks for tagging along. Merch store will be, or a link to the merch store will be in the description below. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch you on the next one.